Hey, everybody, off the top rope here, off the mic sports network, and one of the worst kept secrets in the industry. I mean, we obviously saw one Tony Fumble and Rusev returning to Monday Night Raw, but one of the worst kept secrets in the industry. The former Malachi Black, now once again, Alister Black has returned to WWE as part of Friday Night SmackDown. He comes in with his OG first NXT theme from his days back down there in the black and gold NXT. He comes with that, with the whole entrance, with the roll up, uh, and it just oozes cool and just aura, and it's just amazing to see Alistair Black, also known as Tommy End. Like, it's great to see him back in WWE, and just personally, like, and it was just the most perfect return that you could possibly have. And again, this is the worst kept secret in the industry. And it brings me back to, the low hanging fruit of this whole thing. It's just like, how could you fumble this guy in AEW? How could you have this guy sitting as a trios champion and never really, like, he had what it really, like, I think realistically, what did he have, like, one TNT title match really against Adam Copeland last year, where Adam Copeland ended up breaking his leg or breaking his foot or whatever, in that steel cage where that whole thing happened. Like, that's all you could do with this guy. Guy beat Cody Rhodes, beat him clean, and it was a great rollout for him. What happened? Injuries? It didn't make sense. And the House of Black was genuinely going to be a cool thing. But how could Malachi Black not be a very cool singles wrestler? And the whole reason why why AEW got him is because, like, WWE did not get their cross their T's and dot their I's when they released people. And he only had a 30-day non-compete, and he was able to show up almost immediately when they went back to a live crowd, and it was a shocking moment. But to see him back in WWE in basically right around 3.5, 4 years is kind of nuts. Like, Andrade did almost the same thing too. And I know a lot of people on the AEW side, it's like, yeah, maybe look at what they've done with Andrade. Look at what they've done with some of the other high profile names that have come over from AEW, or kind of crossed back and then crossed back again. But again, this is another example of a Tony Fumble. And now he's got Triple H's hands on him. And, like, you guys remember, like, the fans of the old NXT Black and Gold, Aleister Black was legitimately, like, one of the coolest things on that brand. Was an NXT champion. He ended up being a tag team. I think he might have been a tag team champ. I can't remember. But him and Ricochet had a cool team. It's kind of interesting that Ricochet is now in AEW, and now Aleister Black, Malachi Black, comes back to WWE. It's going to be very interesting to see how his rollout, along with Rusev's, is managed. Because it's very clear that the United States title scene, he's going to get built up a little bit. The United States title scene is freaking insane right now. One of the big other pieces from SmackDown was, it seems like Damian Priest, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre have all kind of been inserted into that U.S. title picture, which is kind of wild that you have all four of those men potentially battling it out on the mid card, which the United States Championship has just not been treated very well since, like, really the early days of Triple H. Since he took over the main roster, it really hasn't been treated like anything really special. But yeah, that'll be interesting to monitor. But above all else, it's just like it's another example. Again, when you see these rollouts, you're like, what the hell happened in AEW? How could Tony Khan absolutely fumble a guy like this? Because here's the thing, they had the right idea right out of the gate with Malachi Black. They had him beat up Cody Rhodes. It got him over pretty quickly. They beat him clean. And, yeah, he ended up losing that feud. But then from then on, what happened? He was like, yeah, he had the whole thing with the House of Black, but it led to nothing. They were trios champions at one point. Like, that's the best you can do for the guy in one singles title match, really? Never challenged for the world title? Really? Really? Like, really, it is insane to me that a guy of that talent and that the uniqueness of the character that he had, and you couldn't do anything with him. So here's hoping that WWE can utilize him in the way that he was utilized in the Black and Gold NXT, and seeing the rollout and hearing the old tones and the guitar riff and the screaming music come back for Aleister Black. That is wonderful to see. It's a great sign of things to come. Triple H gave him the best creative he had. Triple H knew how to utilize him because he's a very unique and a very dark character. So here's hoping that that happens. And maybe it's another example of Tony fumbled. And, he goes right back to the main roster because that's where he was. He didn't need to go back to NXT. And, really a big time moment for him, and great to see him. And also, on a side note, great night for his household, because Zelina Vega won the Women's United States Championship from Chelsea Green. As sad as I am to see Chelsea lose, because I think Chelsea's great and it's a great act, the title run had kind of reached its ceiling. And get a shock title win and give a wrestler like a Zelina Vega an opportunity to kind of run with a championship, because she's never held gold in WWE. So it's outside of like a women's tag team title, she hadn't held a singles championship, despite challenging for a women's championship I think a couple years ago in her home country of Puerto Rico. So yeah, that's really cool. So a very good night for the Aleister Black Zelina Vega household, and seeing them now being on the same show. That's actually great to see, and seeing them back in the same company. That's great. So, yeah, very interesting night on SmackDown. A great, three-way TLC match, won by the Street Profits. Tiffany Stratton seems like she's going back to a feud with Nia Jax, which is, a choice. And then John Cena and Randy Orton are going to face each other at Backlash. It's the expectation. I hope they put some bells and whistles to it, because a straight wrestling match probably isn't going to do it. But who knows? Maybe they surprise me. But yeah, that was really my big picture takeaways from SmackDown. Obviously, the Aleister Black thing is the big piece of this thing, because he could really be a big deal if utilized properly, because there was a chance that it could have worked in AEW. It didn't. It was a fumble. And now he's back in WWE again, where he really got a lot of his big time success on a mainstream level. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.